Since our inception, we are known for our exciting approach to tertiary education and training. For the last decade, many students have graduated and taken successful career paths. We strongly believe that the students that we teach should possess the required skills and competencies to compete effectively in the global market. We offer courses in journalism, business management, human resource, ICT, among others. For more information, contact us on the details on your screen.
This is NTV.
Well, learners across the country made their way back to school today after 9 months away due to COVID-19 pandemic. They still return to a new normal as the many as 15 million learners will have to pick up new habits. Hand washing, the wearing of face masks and temperature checks are now mandatory. And parents and guardians also returned to a mixed verdict on the first day of school. We have a 360-degree view of the first day back in school. But first, here are some of our top stories.
Tonight,
there are those friends that you used to play with. Are they there?
we follow in the steps of the young ones on their way back to class. Follow them on their arduous and dangerous journeys and sit through the sometimes strenuous sessions in a lesson in difficulty. Also tonight, school looks a lot different this year.
Children have got masks and you find most of the time they are pulling the mask down, so you keep on saying, put back your mask.
I'm not scared because it's the new normal. It's the new reality. We have to face it.
How children are relearning how to learn after nearly a year away. Plus, ex-Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko's big win as High Court suspends next month's by-election. And also tonight, the bridge has structural faults. Senate Majority Whip Irungu Kangata burnt his bridges over his BBI warning.
You are predicting a child who is in standard 2 will not pass in class 8.
NTV Tonight with Zeynab Ismail.
Well, thank you for joining us. Our sign language interpreter this evening is Flora Atieno. Well, it was the first day of school unlike any other, and children had to learn new habits from hygiene to personal interaction as they resume under exceptional circumstances. COVID-19 kept them away from school and from their friends. So what was it like to be back? Let's first hear from Stella Maris, a Standard 6 student at the Bungoma Primary School.
My name is Stella Maris and I'm from Bungoma DB, and I've been staying home for 9 months, and I think it was tough because there's no one who was teaching me that I could understand. At home I've been learning a lot of skills, and when the government told us we are going to school, I was shocked and also happy that I'll be going back to school. I'm comfortable wearing the mask, and we are congested in class. It's hot, and they tell us not to remove the masks, and we just remove it when we want to breathe. Like my father has been teaching me, I've been doing exercises and he's been marking for me. I expected there were more desks and I expected we'd be sitting one person in each desk.
There are those friends that you used to play with. Are they there or they are not there? And how's the situation?
They're there, but we don't play. We just talk. But we talk while wearing our mask and social distancing. If I meet with the CS of education, I'll tell him to make more classes for us so that we cannot be congested in class.
Indeed, and it was a day of fasts for many students returning to school after months at home. And despite the pandemic, the excitement of being reunited was unmistakable for some teachers and students. The reopening also opened up the chest of concerns that the school community has to contend with. Gina Kirori has more on the first day back.
The sounds of the smooth roll of a suitcase over tarmac marked the start of the first day for these students at Rockfields Junior School. The importance that soap and water will play in their lives was reinforced by teachers. And while they are together, these children will have to learn at a distance and learn the do's and don'ts of masking up. Safety for these children weighed on them.
We realize that the COVID-19 pandemic has affected these learners from the home environment, either directly or indirectly. So as a school, we have a guidance and counseling department that will be having a strategic plan to ensure that we guide our pupils.
Have not said hi to our visitor.
The joy of being in class with their friends once again was evident in the eyes of the masked faces of these little ones.
We are thankful that we are still healthy and well, and we thank God a lot.
I'm not scared because it's the new normal, it's the new reality. We have to face it.
At home, we had some challenges that we couldn't even ask anyone question about our education, but here in school, our teachers are there to help us.
The expected challenges, especially in regards to safety, however, came to life.
Children have got masks, and you find most of the time they are pulling the mask down, so you keep on saying, put back your mask. And then the masks are also not fitting the smaller children of the other grade.
We don't have enough desks na wanafunzi ni wengi, kwa hivyo shinda ile itakuwepo ni ya social distance. Madarasa tuko nayo ya kutosha, lakini hatuna walimu wa kutosha.
And during the course of the early morning shuffle to schools, unique cases were encountered, such as that of Limuru Township Primary School, where one parent declined to have their child's temperature taken.
Na pia nimepata special case. Kuna case moja ya familia ambayo wanasema kwao hawaguzani na kitu chochote kinahusiana na hospitali, lakini hiyo nimerifaa kwa mkuu wa elimu, director.
It is just the first day of many to come in a time of learning like no other. Teachers and students will have to exhibit great resilience in learning during the pandemic. Gena Kirori, NTV.
And while the big concern for most schools was ensuring they had the relevant tools and facilities to ensure the learners can keep safe, in some parts of the country, nature had thrown in huge challenges. Lois Wangoi reports.
It's okay, but it is.
Most schools are in need of water for sanitation, but here in Baringo, too much water has wreaked havoc. On this day, only 31 pupils out of 300 reported back to Loruk Primary School. The rest have been cut off by the water of the swollen Lake Baringo and Lake Bogoria. The government has been silent about the plight of Baringo pupils, many of whom have seen their education cut short by this natural calamity. Here, boat transport is the main way of reaching school at a cost of 60 shillings per child, but the waters are treacherous. Snakes, hippos and crocodiles make the trip to school a dangerous ride. And for those parents who cannot afford the boat transport, the alternative is a 5-kilometer trek through this rough terrain to make it to school, which is largely a makeshift camp. is all that remains after flooding destroyed the schools. A lot has changed for learners here in Baringo at Ngambo Primary School. Some pupils are learning under trees because part of the school's infrastructure was fully submerged under the waters of the swollen Lake Baringo. Here we find a Class 8 lesson and a PP1 class going on concurrently with 2 teachers in one classroom. Pupils are scrambling for some shade to shield them from the hostile Baringo weather.
Tarajio yetu kama shule tunatarajia watoto 318, lakini kwa sasa watoto ambao wamefika shuleni ni watoto 32. Na tunaona hii idadi ni idadi ndogo.
In Kisumu County, Ombaka Mixed Secondary School is normal. It was recently ravaged by the flooded River Nyando. Parents and guardians have had to dig into their pockets to purchase these tents and chairs so their children can continue learning. There's been no help from the government.
We organized a small fundraising and the community chipped in, and this is what they have done. We have not received anything from either the government or from the MP.
In Kiambu County, Juja constituency, agitated parents at Rore Primary School broke into these 2 newly constructed classrooms which were locked by the contractor. They were protesting delayed payments for their work. The parents discovered the space is too small to allow proper social distancing for the school's population of 1,200 pupils. At the Arap Moi Primary School in Kajiado County, many of the learners endure the hot sun in the playing field, which was also their classroom when school opened. Some found shelter under these car shade.
Some will read under the field, we have a garage at the parking lot, some will go in there, some will go under the tree, but the challenge is that even under the tree, we don't have the facilities like the blackboards and all that.
In Kericho County, there are about the poor state of sanitation in schools owing to lack of clean piped water in some constituencies. In Bureti constituency, learners from Societe Primary School were first sent home to fetch some clean water before the start of their school day. While many schools were able to reopen with reasonable safety facilities in place, the schools in these challenging areas, it appears as if the government social distanced itself from their pressing needs. Lois Wangoi, NTV.
And even as learning resumed across the country, some of those enrolled in some private schools had nowhere to go. Many of the private institutions have been struggling to keep up with the economic hardships brought about by COVID-19. While NTV's Kevin Mutai highlights the plight of some learners in Mombasa after their schools were closed and turned into businesses.
Majaoni Harvard Primary School in Mombasa was an oasis of knowledge for more than 100 pupils. Now the learners have nowhere to go as the school has been closed and the proprietor leased it out to a businessman who plans to convert it into a bar and restaurant. Some of the classrooms here are also being renovated and turned into guest rooms.
One main reason ilikuwa ni kwa sababu ya corona, wanafunzi wakarudi nyumbani na pia wanafunzi nao walikuwa kidogo. So ilikuwa itampeleka hasara kidogo.
Lady Caroline Kindergarten within the same area faces the same fate. The school is now a residential area. A cloud of uncertainty also hovers over the Good Hope Academy in Wiki, Nairobi County, over what the proprietor says is the economic burden which has crippled the institution. The school reopened, but no students reported back. Most of these private schools depend on revenues from parents, but since learning was suspended to stem the spread of the virus, some of the proprietors are struggling to reopen.
Wengi wameweza kufunga manake huenda wenye zile nyumba hawangeweza kuwavumilia kwa huo muda wote. Hivyo basi ikawa ni lazima wangefunga.
Now there's a looming crisis as parents have to find schools for their young ones.
Shule hizi za government zimejaa, sasa jamani hata hatujui tuanzia wapi kweli.
Mabusiness zetu zimeanguka chini kabisa. Unajaribu kujiinua unakuta umeanguka tena.
Sasa hata school fees hatuwezi, ndio tunakimbilia hii ya serikali.
Mtoto anafaa kuingia na full uniform. Hiyo tumefanya. Mzazi ananunua uniform, anakosa pesa ya admission, na lazima uadmitiwe na pesa.
If you have a child who has gone to a government school and cannot be placed in that school and another one, then tell us and we shall act.
According to the Kenya Private Schools Association, approximately 339,000 private schools across the country were affected by the pandemic.
Despite our request from to the government to support private schools with a stimulus package, that did not come. And because it did not come, that responsibility of funding private schools is now squarely on the shoulders of the parents.
Some of the private schools across the country might never make it back after facing various challenges presented by COVID-19, leaving proprietors with no or little chance of bouncing back. Kevin Mutai, NTV in Mombasa.
Precious Talent Top School is among the many that opened their doors today. But unlike other schools, Precious Talent was closed for a different reason back in 2019. There was a terrible accident that took the lives of many and left much more injured. Leila Mohammed was at Precious Talent Top School in Dagoretti South to witness day one of school for the pupils of Ngando village.
After many months passed since a fatal accident took their schoolmates here in September 2019, these little ones were glad to be back to the familiar surroundings of Precious Talents. Their parents have longed for this day after the government revoked their school's license to operate. It's a new term and much has changed here. The number of students in each class is different and so are the faces. They are now covered up as per the guidelines set by MOH.
They are very curious. They even wanted to greet each other, but you know there are the COVID-19 protocols we need to observe. So I had to tell them all the guidelines so that they don't just crowd and start telling each other stories.
Before the teachers picked up from where they left off in 2019, they had to engage their students in activities they say will enable them to understand their mental state.
The best thing that I'm going to do is to communicate to them. And during that communication, you are going to learn what is in their mind. Even the work that I've given them about a composition, they write anything. They will express themselves. And through marking that work, I'm going to know what is in their mind.
The school administrators say that the journey back to the classroom for the 600 students hasn't been easy, but the desire for education by Ngando village in an area where there isn't any public school has kept them going.
We have followed the due course, all the procedures that the government wanted so that we start our school. All the procedures, starting from filling in the NEMA, everything that was required by the NEMA, everything. We did it successfully. Then we handed over to the Minister of Education, of which they approved and gave us go-ahead to continue the learning.
As required, the school has water points in designated areas and pupils are spread out in the classes. CS Magoha has allowed the school to have only 600 pupils at the moment. The head teacher says that almost half the number reported back this Monday, with many more expected in the coming days.
We have 31 streams in the entire school, but at now we have already covered, for today we have covered 21 streams. Those are the learners that reported today in the morning.
The head teacher says he is receiving many new parents seeking admission for their children from various other institutions that have been closed. Magoha says that the public school system will absorb many, but cautioned against being picky on certain schools which may overwhelm the numbers. For those locked out of already packed public institutions, it is a race against time to ensure that they get important slots for their children to get back to the classroom. But according to George Magoha, it will be important by the end of the week to have everyone back to physical learning. Leila Mohammed, NTV.
Well, in some of the over 3,000 schools that host children with special needs, it was quite an arduous task getting them to adhere to COVID-19 safety measures. This is because of the nature of care and attention they need. Ruth Sarmoi has their perspective.
At the Pangani Special School for the Intellectually Challenged in Nakuru,
only 40 out of the enrolled 185 students resumed their classes for the first time in 9 months. But even with the availability of hand-washing points, enough space to practice 1 meter social distance, adherence to these safety measures was uncomfortable for the children.
These learners on wheelchairs are not able to wash their hands, so they have to be assisted by the teacher. So the teacher or the non-teaching staff has to be there to assist them to wash their hands. Most of the learners are uncomfortable with their masks, so they keep on removing them from their faces. We have the autistic learners. These autistic learners chew their masks. So we have had that challenge of giving them new masks, and they chew. These learners, some of them wear diapers, and the teachers have to remove those diapers. They have to change them their diapers. That social distancing cannot work in this school.
The teachers have to tend to them all the time to ensure that they adhere to the laid down health measures, a strain on a few staff who have to give priority to others who need more special attention.
The ministry to give us more money so that we can have more non-teaching staff, more employees in the school. And in fact, even the money also delay a lot. Right now, we have not even been given money, but we're just trying our best.
Elsewhere in Nakuru town, preparations were ongoing at the Ngala Special School for the Deaf for their reopening this Wednesday.
Usually they report 2-3 days after the others because they normally have a problem or challenges when they are reporting to school. Because as you are aware, they normally have communication problem. You know, in the transport, hawa watu wa magari huwa wanafocus sana na wale watu wanasikia, lakini hawa wetu hawasikii. So usually when they are trying to ask for transport, they normally ignore our student because of that communication problem.
The boarding school that hosts 172 students requires each parent to pay 11,000 shillings to cater for their stay in school. This school is ready to receive her students come Wednesday this week. And one of the ways to ensure social distancing for PP2 students from this class who are 17, the teachers are ready to do their learning from outside.
Mostly tunafanya kazi za mikono, practical work. So hatuna shida na wao, sisi masomo yetu mingi itakuwa nje.
According to the chairman of the Special School Teachers Association, learners in the 3,024 special schools across the country are expected back by Wednesday. Ruth Sarmui, NTV, Nakuru.
It is the situation in schools as schools reopen for the first time after 9 months of closure occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic. We'll be bringing you more, but first let's take a break as we tell you what happened in the High Court.
New Year resolutions? Didn't you say the very same things last year?
A bit of pressure on how to unlock the new year 2021? Select a plot of value-added land within Garden of Joy gated community off Koma Kennel Road, Machakos. Now kuamue January na 21K with Optiven. Call us now on 0790 300 300. Optiven Limited. Experience the difference.
Jaza kwa sababu there's a whooping 1 million bob to be won. All you have to do ni kupiga shopping worth 1,500 and above na uko ndani ya draw. Krisi ibambe na Quickmart. Quickmart, fresh and easy.
Rena vegetable oil stays liquid to the last drop, so it's smooth cooking from start to finish. Now with an easy to pour cap. Mapishi poa, madishi poa.
Fun and food got together beautifully at GMC Place. Enjoy our succulent meals in a serene setting with a varied choice of fun games for the little ones. Cup it up with a cuppa or a cocktail, all available to your taste. Discover the joy of a warm pool by diving into the Blue Oasis heated pool. Or at GMC Place, the fun never ends. Make your reservation today on 0701 560 560.
I thought something happened to you or got lost.
I would gladly let my husband know my every move if he was someone who actually worries for me and looks after my needs. Is that clear?
If she knows that this baby is Jeronimo's, she'll die of heartbreak.
Dad said that if somebody deceived you, he's going to kill him.
I cannot live with somebody who gets drunk every day like you do, who forgets about me and about his commitment to the people. What changed? Why do you act like this? What did I do to you?
It's obvious that there's something wrong with you and your wife. You don't even act like a newlywed couple. Renata is sad, as if she's very lonely. I hope that you didn't go too far with that revenge of yours.
Thank you for staying with us. Now, former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko got a temporary reprieve in his quest to overturn his ouster after the court barred IEBC from conducting the by-election slated for the 18th of February this year. Justice Anthony Mrima temporarily suspended the special gazette notice issued by IEBC last month, calling for a by-election in Nairobi after Sonko's impeachment, pending the hearing and determination of the application by Sonko. Sonko moved to court challenging his ouster from office, claiming that due process was not followed when he was removed from office. Judge Mrima further said he will now issue a ruling on whether the matter will be heard by a bench on the 14th of January. The embattled governor was accused of gross violation of the constitution or any other law, abuse of office and gross misconduct. Meanwhile, there's been mixed reaction to the contents of a letter written by Senate Majority Whip Irungu Kang'ata, indicating the Building Bridges Initiative referendum would fail in the Mount Kenya region. While some agree with the sentiments, there are those close to President Uhuru Kenyatta who say the legislator may be preparing to join Tanga Tanga. NTV's senior political reporter Kennedy Mureithi with details of the unfolding political saga that has now sent some of the proponents of the BBI to the back drawing board.
For the better part of Monday, Senate Majority Whip Irungu Kang'ata's phone was diverted and he could not be reached at all, probably to evade the many phone calls that will be coming his way, seeking clarification on what his letter to the president really meant. NTV caught up with him at a funeral in Murang'a County, but even here, efforts to get his comments failed. He avoided media like a plague, and unlike other times where he is usually eager to speak to journalists, this time round, his vehicle sped off. However, his message to the president, captured in a 6-page letter, noting the challenges the BBI push will face in the Mount Kenya region, has elicited varied reactions.
What he has now done by writing this letter, he is trying to depict a system that is not functional. And you don't do that when you are part of a team.
Akipewa kiti cha whip, anafunga mkono na mnaye anasema, Mheshimiwa Rais, mimi sina la kufanya sababu watu wangu hawanisikii. That means you have lost touch with the people.
Hata kama hamusikizi sisi mnasema ni watangatanga, musikize moja wenu wakieleweke na mlete hii document, tukae chini pamoja tuangalie ile mambo na tusemi BBI ni mbaya. Kuna mambo mingi sana ambayo ni mzuri kwa hiyo BBI, lakini kuna sumu, na unajua sumu hata tone moja inaweza kuua.
In his letter to President Kenyatta, the Murang'a senator noted a survey he did over the Christmas festivities showed that about 6 out of 10 residents will vote down the Constitutional Amendment Bill 2020 at the referendum, only 2 out of 10 said they would happily vote for the bill at a plebiscite. 2 out of the 10 are still undecided.
It's a letter that is a wake-up call to people who might not be seeing what will be the benefits of BBI, particularly for Central Kenya people. It will be handled. I don't think whether that letter can retrogress the progress that has been made on BBI.
Out of the 4.4 million signatures we got for BBI, 25% of those signatures were from Mount Kenya region. That is over 800,000 signatures came from Mount Kenya region. Si hawa ni watu.
In a blunt letter sent to newsrooms, 10 Mount Kenya governors under their umbrella body Sereb castigated Kang'ata for the letter, accusing him of not using the right channel to air his views. In the letter, the governors note, as a senior member of Parliament and Jubilee Party, Honorable Kang'ata should have followed official government structures and procedures in his address to His Excellency the President. Such breach of protocol is unacceptable. It raises questions why a senior member of government leadership in Parliament would choose this cheap populist method to address this issue to His Excellency the President, whose office is just a few steps away from Parliament. The letter further notes, Honorable Kang'ata's statement should be deemed as personal and based on personal prejudice. The Central Kenya region has a unique political behavior driven by unique interests and not hysterical emotions.
If you find Kang'ata writing a letter, it means he's so frustrated. So he's venting his anger because he can see the reality. He cannot be able to communicate. He can't send his probably messages or phone calls are not answered.
Kang'ata put the cart before the horse. It is premature to say you are predicting a child who is in standard 2 will not pass in class 8. When you know already you have not even taken the child through the process from class 2 to class 8. Then only when the child is at class 8, then you can say there are signs that they may not pass. But right now, the BBI process where we are just at the foundation.
Kang'ata, in a tweet this evening, has disabused the notion that he gave the media the letter, only noting that somebody who had been copied in the letter is the one that leaked it. Kennedy Muredi, NTV.
Let's now check on the COVID-19 situation in the country, and 106 people tested positive for COVID-19 out of 3,315 samples tested in the last 24 hours. The new figure increased the cumulative cases reported in the country since March 14th to 96,908. One more person has died, raising the fatalities to 1,686. 184 patients have recovered from the disease, bringing the total number of recoveries to 79,257. 617 patients are in various health facilities, with 28 of them in ICU. Another 2,964 are on home-based isolation and care. Meanwhile, tension is building up in Kutulo sub-county in the county of Mandera after police shot and killed one person and injured 3 people. Residents took to the streets to protest against police use of brute force in the name of fighting terror. NTV's Naoma Sampao has that report.
The wailing of women tore through the air. They gathered in Kutulo, Mandera to give voice to their anger against police who allegedly shot at 4 people. 1 died, 3 are nursing serious injuries.
Watoto wetu, vijana wetu wameshikwa wakiwa wanaendesha tuktuku yao, wakiwa wametoka kuchukua gamia yao yenye ilivunjika kwa msitu.
The residents, numbed by the violence, took their fight to the local police station. Police had to fire in the air to disperse them. The victims were allegedly beaten to a near death before police opened fire at them. The locals accused the police of trying to cover up the incident by refusing to release the body of the deceased to his family. It was only released after the protests intensified.
Watoto yetu wamekuwa mayatima. Wamama yetu wamekosa mabwana zao. Mayatima wamejaa kwa boma. Tunaomba serikali, hatuwezi chukua hatua kwa mkononi mwetu, lakini tunaomba serikali wafuatilie hii.
The incident has now weakened further the fragile relationship between security personnel in the area and the locals.
Several have suffered, several have been killed, several have been tortured and maimed by security personnel. We have lost now confidence and trust in our security personnel who are on the ground because of their reckless behavior.
We don't need security here. Please, they must go from here.
The residents have also accused the security officers of using excessive force and extrajudicial killings in the name of fighting terror, something they fear would radicalize the locals further. They called on the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA, to conclusively investigate and bring the officers involved to book. Nayoma Sampao, NTV.
From the situation then, Mandera, we'll be taking a short break here on NTV Tonight. We'll be back.
Maritime tips brought to you by Kenya Maritime Authority. Navigational precautions. Ensure that your vessel has sufficient life jackets and safety equipment on board. Ensure your vessel is insured and licensed and has sufficient communication devices. Be aware of the limitations of your vessel. While boating at night, it's important to have the required lighting so that other boats can see you. Never operate a boat under the influence of alcohol or any kind of drug. Do not spill petrol or oil or throw rubbish into water bodies. In case of any emergencies at sea, call the Regional Maritime Rescue Coordination Center on 0721 368 313 or 037 719 414. Learn more about shipping, the blue economy and maritime activities by visiting us at www.kma.go.ke. Kenya Maritime Authority, for safe and efficient water transport.
We offer courses in journalism, business management, human resource, ICT, among others. For more information, contact us on the details on your screen.
Ruiru Mabati Factory offers best quality mabati at the most affordable prices. We pride in our 10 years experience. Our products have 15 years warranty and are KEBS certified. We manufacture box profile, Europe tile, Jenga tile, corrugated S profile, among others, in a wide variety of colors. Enjoy our free delivery in just 72 hours. To order, call us now on 0111 050 700. Ruiru Mabati Factory, mali safi kwa bei poa.
You're just in time for the only name in business. Welcome, I am Julian Amboko. A section of small traders now want county governments to consider using their 2020 business licenses for 2021 as a means to help them offset the cost of renewal of licensing this year. The small traders say that whereas they paid their license renewal in 2020, they were largely unable to conduct any business and therefore need some form of relief from the devolved governments. While striking an optimistic note, the businesses fear that new taxes, such as minimum tax, are bound to undermine their performance further in 2021. Micro, small and medium-sized businesses were the worst affected by the adverse effects of COVID-19 in 2020.
Tunatarajia serikali pia itupee kama wale tulikuwa tumelipa license mwaka jana. Tunaomba serikali hiyo license iwe iletu kuwa mwaka huu, kwa sababu tulilipa license na hakuna kazi tulifanya.
Katika maishani mwangu biasharani sijawahi ona wakati mgumu kama ule wa mwaka uliopita, lakini Mungu ni mwema, ametufikisha huu mwaka na tuna matumaini.
Mwaka huu wa 2021 natarajia biashara itainuka compared to 2020. 2020 was challenging. We can't complain, lakini ilikuwa challenging. Lakini mwaka huu tunatarajia biashara zitainuka na watu wataweza kununua zaidi.
And staying with the business landscape, the Kenya Bankers Association is bullish on the prospects for 2021, banking on a strong rebound by the economy, shrugging off the effects of COVID-19. The association's chairperson, Joshua Oigara, says there are pockets of resilience in the economy which are expected to drive the rebound of the private sector over the next 12 months. The banking sector took a significant hit from the adverse effects of COVID-19, with loans worth 1.4 trillion shillings having been restructured as at the close of November 2020. A number of banks have issued profit warnings ahead of their full-year results due in March.
So one area you look at is trade. You look at transport, you look at manufacturing, you look at those segments that are driving. And that we are seeing huge upsides from us as an institution, as for the industry. So, and the reopening of a lot of businesses has happened in the last quarter. So I would be saying that from an overall economic point of view, I don't feel worried that we are not standing on a good platform. Our fundamentals as an economy are strong.
Now let's get to how the market started the year. The shilling started the year losing marginally against major currencies as pressure piled on the local currency. Against the US dollar, the shilling exchanged at an average 109.22 during Monday's trade compared to 109.17 registered on December 31st, 2020, whereas against the sterling pound, the local currency exchanged at an average 149.07 units on Monday, weaker than the 148.36 reported at the last day of 2020. The shilling exchanged at 134.18 units to the euro on Monday, down a marginal 0.22 percentage points compared to the close of 2020. The central bank was in the money market, to mop up 20.35 billion shillings on Monday.
The moves in the shilling are not, they're not particularly striking in that international sense. In many ways, it's more of a kind of broad US dollar dynamic than something very, very specific to the shilling.
And on to the equities. 8.7 million shares were traded in the fast trading session at the Nairobi Securities Exchange in 2021, up from the 4 million shares traded on the last session of 2020. The NSE 20 share index was up by a marginal 0.22 percentage points during Monday's trade, closing at 1,872 points, even as investors' paper wealth declined compared to Thursday's trade by 1 billion shillings, leaving the market capitalization at 2.335 trillion shillings. The biggest movers during Monday's trade were Safaricom, Equity Bank and Kenya Power, which moved 3.6 million, 1.9 million and 1.1 million shares respectively. The day's biggest gainer was Nairobi Business Ventures, which closed at 4 shillings and 65 cents, up 8.6% compared to the close of 2020. And that takes us to the close of business. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.
Did you know at Ruiru Mabati Factory you can open an account and lipa pole pole at your convenience? Did you know at Ruiru Mabati Factory you can get customized sizes according to your roof plan to avoid wastage? Did you know Ruiru Mabati Factory offers free delivery countrywide within 72 hours? Call us now on 0111 050 700. Ruiru Mabati Factory, mali safi kwa bei poa.
Get fresh, gotta get fresh.
Down is a boom boom pow, down is boom boom pow. Smells baya na uchafuzi na zibina improve down ni. Protect nguo zangu na nukia niko safi. Lazima niwe fresh na down is boom boom pow. Boom boom pow, down is new boom boom pow. Smells zote na zi boom boom powerful freshness. Down is boom boom pow. Na ni 15 bob tu?
New Year resolutions? Didn't you say the very same things last year?
A bit of pressure on how to unlock the new year 2021? select a plot of value-added land within Garden of Joy Gated Community off Koma Kennel Road, Machakos. Na ukwamue Januari na 21K with Optiven. Call us now on 0790 300 300. Optiven Limited. Experience the difference.
Breaking news from Molfix. Let's see what they're developing right now.
Molfix pants with anatomic fit technology. New Molfix pants, an invention from babies for babies.
You should also try Molfix.
John Cardinal Njue has retired as the Archbishop of Nairobi, where he served for 13 years. He tendered his resignation upon attaining the required age of 75 years. Bishop David Kamu has been serving as the auxiliary bishop, will take over as the apostolic administrator of the Nairobi Archdiocese, as the Pope is expected to appoint an archbishop.
John Cardinal Njue was the second cardinal in Kenya after taking over from Maurice Michael Cardinal Otunga. The position remains vacant until the Pope makes a new appointment. Born in 1944 at Kiriari in Embu County, John Cardinal Njue was ordained as a priest by Pope Paul VI on January 6, 1973. He holds a doctorate in philosophy from the Pontifical Urbaniana University and a doctorate in theology from the Pontifical Lateran University. In 1974, he was appointed philosophy professor and dean of students at St. Augustine Senior Seminary, Mabanga in Bungoma, of which he was also rector from 1978 to 1982. He was appointed Archbishop of Nairobi on the 6th of October 2007, taking over from the late Archbishop Ndingi Mwananzeki, who retired the same year. However, his tenure has been marked by criticism, with many accusing him of not taking charge of St. Mary's Hospital in Langata and allowing it to be run down. Some felt he would have been more vocal on matters national interest. John Cardinal Njue has served as the chairman of the Seminary Episcopal Commission for major seminaries in Kenya. And also chaired the Kenya Episcopal Conference Justice and Peace Commission.
An end of an era indeed. Well, time for another break. When we come back, we bring you all the sporting action. Stay with us.
"2020 taught us a lot about risk, and Business Redefined kicks off 2021 with a look at insurance. How is the introduction of index-based insurance impacting the 230 billion shillings gross premiums industry? Is micro-insurance finally unlocking the perennial headache of low insurance penetration in Kenya? How is the industry looking from an asset-liability match perspective? In the next edition of Business Redefined, we host the Managing Director of KCB Insurance Agency to discuss this and more.
Do you need to send your parcel or document during this period? The Nation Courier Services, with over 15 years of distribution experience, will deliver it for you. We deliver to every corner of Kenya. Due to our strong distribution network, have overnight door-to-door service and same-day intra-city service with the security and safety of the client's shipment guaranteed. Your parcel is our priority. We'll deliver it for you. Contact us for delivery on courierservices@ke.nationmedia.com or call 0719 038 739.
I thought something happened to you or got lost.
I would gladly let my husband know my every move if he was someone who actually worries for me and looks after my needs.
Is that clear? If she knows that this baby is Hieronymo's, she'll die of heartbreak.
Dad said that if somebody deceived you, he's going to kill him.
I cannot live with somebody who gets drunk every day like you do, who forgets about me and about his commitment to the people.
What changed? Why do you act like this? What did I do to you?
It's obvious that there's something wrong with you and your wife. You don't even act like a newlywed couple. Renata is sad, as if she's very lonely. I hope that you didn't go too far with that revenge of yours.
Some sporting action now. In Kenya Premier League record champions Gor Mahia will be looking to redeem their 6-0 first leg defeat to Algeria's CR Belouizdad in their return CAF Champions League match scheduled for Wednesday. Gor Mahia have been training since Sunday with just 10 players under Posta Rangers coach Samuel Molo, who is helping out in the club in the absence of CAF certified tactician. While the Kogalo camp is still on turmoil due to unpaid salaries, CR Belouizdad quietly landed in Nairobi Sunday at 7 p.m. The contingent of 43 strong players and a French coach Frank Dumois held their first training session in the country today at the Moi Sports Centre, Kasarani, and will have a feel of the Nyayo Stadium on Tuesday. And the Kenya National Paralympic Committee today held athletics trials to select athletes who will participate in the Dubai Athletics Para Grand Prix in February. 2016 Paralympics 5,000 meter T11 bronze medalist Wilson Beast and 2016 Paralympics 5,000 meter T11 champion Samuel Mushai to win the men's 5,000 meter T11 during the trials. B won the category in 15 minutes and 55.5 seconds, beating injured Mushai, who finished second in 15 minutes and 56.3 seconds, as Rogers Kiprop settled for third in 16 minutes and 12.5 seconds. Sylvia Olero hold 27.43 meters to win the women's discus and book a sport to vie in Dubai.
Jaribu kupick up, lakini si mbaya vile juu nilikuwa nafanya mazoezi huko home Bomet County.
Katika mambo ya michezo ama wizara ya michezo Mina, so naomba atusaidie pia tupatie sponsor kwa sababu sisi Paralympians hatukwangi na managers.
So I think the morale is very high and we're going to get a very good team. As we go to Dubai, I believe the team is going to participate well.
And to the English Premier League now, where Kevin De Bruyne scored one and assisted another as Manchester City eased to a 3-1 victory against Chelsea last night. Manchester City impressively overcame the absence of key first-team players due to coronavirus, earning their victory at Stamford Bridge. City handed a league debut to goalkeeper Zach Steffen, standing at 3 goals up inside 34 minutes thanks to strikes from Ilkay Gondown, Phil Foden and Kevin De Bruyne. Hudson-Odoi scored a late consolation for Chelsea, but that was the only disappointment for the visitors, who made it 3 league wins in a row to move up to 5th in the table and within 4 points of top sport with a game in hand. Chelsea, meanwhile, remain down in 8th position. In today's fixtures, Liverpool will be looking to move back out on their own at the top of the Premier League table when they visit Southampton in their opening match of 2021. Both sides ended 2020 with disappointing goalless draws, as the Saints were held at home by West Ham United and Liverpool were frustrated by Newcastle United.
There's a break on here for Sterling. Kante's the only Chelsea player anywhere near him. Sterling bearing down on Mendy's goal, and still forced wide. Got Foden up in support, and now there's 2. Still Sterling.
All right, and that's a wrap from us on NTV tonight. Many thanks for keeping us company. In our sign language interpretation this evening was Flora Atieno. My name is Zeynab Ismail. Have yourself a lovely night and stay with us.
This is NTV.